Hey everybody, we're back again with the Bass Bros podcast. It's been a while. This is our first episode since we were at 22nd Street Landing. I'm here with my brother, Philip Friedman.
What's going on, guys?
And our guest, Travis Brown.
Browns, huh?
Bounce. I said guess so funny.
Yeah, what are you doing? You've got this big radio voice on.
I like to do it. I like to do it this
Yes.
I like to do it to start the podcast.
Travis Brown.
Daytime TV.
All right, well, I'll cut the voice now because the intro's over. But me and Travis have a long history. He's the one who really got me into freshwater bass fishing.
Sorry.
We started at San Jose State. I just showed up to a meeting, I think, and then I ended up being your partner for a while until you moved to Chico State.
I had some rods, and you're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm fishing. You're like, oh, you're the dude that like fishes. And I'm like, yeah, we're doing a meeting we did a meeting at Round Table or something.
Yeah, some pizza place.
And you showed up. And
now I'm addicted. Now my brother's addicted, and we're gonna go later today and try to pull on them.
Where are we going to go?
I think we're going on the ski arm. So we're at Canyon Lake, private community. You cannot fish this place unless you know somebody, and they call you in at the gate. And that makes it a really good fishery. Wouldn't you say so, Filler?
Dude, it's one of the best, if not the best, freshwater fisheries in SoCal.
I would say it's the best SoCal lake, just because it's the only place that has this amount of docks, that has this amount of cover. Usually in SoCal, you got deep, clear reservoirs, which is tough fishing when, there's not that many around in SoCal. So they're getting hammered every weekend, and it's high pressure, high clarity of water. So you got to use light line, and the fish are big. They're hard to land.
And you're going to trip out when we show you the ski arm, because the thing I remember the best is like when we're back in the sticks back there, I feel like I'm fishing Alabama. I feel like I'm on Lake Wheeler.
No.
He's from up north, so he's kind of used
He's got
to
that up north.
No,
He's
we have
got
a bunch
that.
of like reservoirs up there.
Yeah.
Like, this is like a reservoir, right? Like it was dammed, I'm sure, but it's like flooded. I mean, from what I've seen from the 100 feet off the dock.
There's a lot of cover.
Like, a lot of cover, brush.
Yeah. So after this is the kind of podcast we have set up going, Trav. We have our guest come on, which is you, and we're going to talk about whatever we talk about. We don't really have anything to talk about. We're just going to catch up and all that. But after, we're going to go fishing,
Cool.
and I like experienced fishermen, or I would like experienced fishermen to come on and kind of show their best tactic or a cool little trick or something called After the Cast, and we'll film that on the boat so everybody can see or learn something from you.
Cool. Super down, yeah.
So we'll have that.
Fishing.
We'll have that after this podcast.
So what's also very funny about this is Travis showed up here to just hang out. And then when he walked in, we're up in here getting this podcast. And he's like, what's going on? We're like,
Yeah.
we're doing a podcast with you. Get in here.
I literally decided, I was like, should we just do it with Travis? And he was like, yeah. It was like 30 minutes before he got here. So Travis is watching us try to figure this all out. We're like plugging stuff. He actually helped me charge the iPad while we were sitting here. He's like, it's got to charge. So yeah, it's been really cool. It's cool to see you again, man. It's been forever. I think it was your wedding was the last time we were together, right?
Bachelor party was after that, right? Yours?
Oh yeah, that was. I tried to block that out of the memory, dude.
Yeah,
I tried to block that out of the memory. Dude, it took me forever to recover from that. Like 2 or 3 months, I felt good again, which is. But we're trying. I don't know. I lift weights. I like to fish. That's about it, dude. I don't even know if I do those well. But yeah, so we're going to go after this. We're going to go fish the ski arm. I think, Trav, we can make a decision with you on the podcast.
Was there
This Main Lake, I don't have a bite on Main Lake. I haven't fished it. I don't know what it is.
different structure-wise?
It's
similar?
No, it's actually kind of like two different bodies of water.
Yeah.
That's what's really, really bitch about it. So Main Lake, it's all your housing, docks.
Yeah.
We haven't really found any. We got a tree off a point that's submerged about 12 foot of water, 12, 15 foot of water it's usually holding.
Yeah.
But during the summer, the fish like to really school up in the middle of nowhere, and you're just chasing them. So we have the Panoptics on the boat,
Yeah.
and we're just watching them in real time, and we're chasing them and dropping spoons on them real quick, and then we'll get one or two.
Yeah.
Ski arm is submerged trees, tules, lily pads. I've got a 4-pounder on a frog today.
a lot more rock.
That's
A lot more rock.
That's the one we're doing.
Yeah, ski
Is
arm.
there any, like,
I agree.
any vegetation? Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
Honey, you
hydrilla.
could flip. You could.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
You could
grass.
punch. Yeah.
Then, that's where we're.
That's what I would say because I got a good bite there.
Yeah.
Kind of know what's going on. I like it better because
A lot of the
You'll
low.
catch them on top, too.
Yeah. Well, I got one on a walking bait, and I missed like a 3-pounder on a little mini like Z-Man. It's a Whopper Plopper. little small
Cool.
one.
Yeah.
But they're on micro bait back there on top.
Really?
Yeah, they're eating real small stuff. But
I had one kiss the popper too.
the other thing that's cool about
you should be able to catch them on a popper.
the locals talk about throwing rats back there and doing
Yeah.
pretty damn good on them. But
bet.
we haven't keyed in on that. And then the other thing that's back there is really good crappie fishing, which we haven't found yet.
We got
Sounds
one.
sick.
Patrick got one.
We got 2 9s this year. One out of the ski arm, one out of Main Lake.
Damn.
So those are good fish.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think we could catch a really big one today. I
Yeah,
really do.
down.
The way it's
On top,
biting,
too.
there's like a cold front coming in.
He got
Yeah.
a 7-pounder when he first moved in
I
here.
got a 7 and 8 on the first day.
On top
Damn.
water.
I was here. I got
One
one on
was
top,
top water,
one
one
was
was
on a
top
jig.
water.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah.
But that, you know what? I just realized. I don't know why. Because talking about the bachelor party, we're all married now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird.
Has it been different for anybody?
No.
The
I've
same.
been with my girl for 14 years.
Yeah,
It's nothing. It was just a title for us.
yeah. Philip still doesn't do anything around the house.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't even
Just
imagine.
kidding.
She's 14 years in. She knows the deal.
I feel terrible for her.
Your wedding was awesome, dude.
Thank you.
It was so fun.
Thank you. I'm
We had
so
a
bummed I
blast.
missed yours. Yours looked awesome.
It was.
It
was-
happened to work out too. Like
Yeah.
with the whole hurricane, like right before.
Yeah, yeah. A
was,
lot
like,
of people
tripping
almost
out for
didn't
you
make
guys.
it
I'm
in.
like,
It was a miracle that nothing went wrong.
Yeah.
I was so tipped.
I was like, oh my God, are they gonna like, what's it gonna, I was
It was so fun though, dude. The fishing was awesome. The wedding was awesome. What do you have a smile on your face like you want to say
Because
something?
didn't you come back and oh no, that was from the other bachelor party. You drank yourself into convincing your body you ran 100 miles.
Yeah, I almost got
What Goggins gets.
Yeah, what's that thing called where myocur?
Carditis?
No, that's a heart.
That's a heart thing.
No,
That's
I
what the
think it's
vaccine gives
called-
you.
Oh,
Rhabdo.
Kaylin's rhabdo. It's like when you work out so hard you pee blood or something. I don't know, but the doctor was like,
you were
I came
peeing blood?
back from a 3-day bachelor party. I was like, I gotta go to the hospital.
Oh,
and so I walk into urgent care. I just knew I needed an IV or something. Like I was hurting bad, and the lady's like, "What's going on? What's wrong?" And I was like, "I've been drinking since Friday," and she was like.
No food.
Yeah.
Like,
She's like, it's Monday. And I'm like, that's why I'm here. I think I got like 2 IVs and I was good to go.
Often, honestly.
But I think that was a positive thing in your case because now you're not drinking whatsoever.
I blew it. I blew the last few.
Yeah.
For me, it was more of like a roller coaster, right? Like I would get into the groove and be very efficient and work really hard. And then I'd get in the habit of drinking again, which is so much fun,
Right.
easy to fall into. And so I kind of got done with going up and down.
Yeah, you're more proactive not drinking than you are, and that's with anybody.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll never drink again, but right now I'm loving it.
Right.
I'm having
There you go.
built this whole damn thing.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Sweet.
But yeah, so I drank myself to a near death experience.
Twice.
Yeah.
The second time just really did it for you.
The cruise. Well, how did you feel after that cruise?
I mean, I drove home.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, you remember your
was
car was
fun.
dead? His car, we had to like jump your car or something.
yeah, yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
the last thing you want after
I
you
didn't
get off a
remember-
boat.
I don't remember
It was,
that.
I had to like, we
Yeah.
jumped it or it wasn't starting outside my mom's house.
I had to like
yeah.
replace my battery when I got home.
Yeah,
It was, like,
imagine
no big deal, but it was,
getting off that
it's
cruise
terrible.
and your car doesn't turn over.
That was.
I didn't go as hard as you guys the last day, so
That
I was
entire
I was
cruise-
just like
Thank
not
God.
feeling great.
That cruise
But I
was
drove.
Very smart.
It was a death march.
Philip was running from security
The last
from
night.
bar to bar, trying to get
They were
away
trying
from
to cut me
You like
off.
lost your phone, your wallet.
in Mexico. Yeah.
The Mexican people tried to steal his wallet.
We didn't have enough money to pay for papas and beer because it was cash only. You guys are the only two that speak
Disaster.
Spanish. I'm like, what is happening? Get me off this.
And I'm telling them they're
Get
going to
me outta
kidnap
here.
us.
God, that
My
was a
brother's
fun one.
tripping.
But that's why, if
terrible.
any advice to anybody who's doing a bachelor party, do it way in advance. I had it planned for if I were to break something or sprain something, I could heal up for the wedding. way in. I'm serious,
Well,
Trav. Like,
that's how we roll.
yeah,
At mine, we like wrestled.
yeah, I know.
we decided it was a good idea to see who was the
It was
strongest.
fun.
I
He-
stepped on a shot glass.
yeah, he was bleeding at Papa's and Beer, remember? And I was like, dude, somebody's gonna help you, and he's just bleeding all over the
I was
place.
like, no, I'm good.
So terrible. So terrible. It was great. That was a fun memory though. And the cruise, it was like keeping score. It was like, remember you could check.
Oh
and see
yeah, you could see how many drinks you had.
So that's even worse.
I didn't even
For
check.
you.
I didn't check either.
No,
I didn't even check. I
It was
did.
at like 40 on day.
Do you
I don't remember a lot.
Do you remember your
I
passport
really don't.
picture?
Yeah,
Asking people?
yeah, it was
no.
a bad one.
I wish I
But
could.
it was fun.
It was immediate regret.
Yeah, that was rough. I had to stop when the second guy was like, "I've seen it. I've seen
Yeah, you
it."
showed him like
Is
4
that
times.
one?
Yeah, the casino bartender was getting it for sure. Between me and him running around.
Oh God.
I think Ida was like, "Philip, they want you out." And you're like, "They're gonna have to catch me."
You're like, you're on a boat. How far do you go?
I just kept going from bar to bar.
Oh
and they
my
were right
gosh.
behind me, and I just order a drink, slam it, go to the next one.
And then we dressed up as the Trailer Park Boys for no reason at all, which
the
was
first night.
amazing. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but there was a couple
The first
people that
day.
recognized us.
There was like
the,
2
the
people.
that did recognize us.
But they loved it.
respected it.
They loved
They were
it.
like, "That is
Yeah.
sick."
It was hilarious.
Yeah, being Randy was so fun. And he made me walk into a
Sure.
bar,
Yeah.
like
No,
a
I
nice
said-
one.
I told you should
yes,
put
you
your
did.
shirt on.
No,
I
you
said-
didn't, you liar.
And then
You
I-
told the guy I was allergic.
That's right. That's right. I
Yeah.
I,
It's
that's,
like, you can't wear your shirt.
that's what Randy doesn't wear a shirt because he's allergic to the material.
It's like a nice bar. Philip's like, "You
cotton.
can't put your shirt on." And I was like, "I know." And then they made me put it on immediately.
And I told him that he was allergic and he was going to get a rash.
It was
Didn't
dumb.
work.
It was dumb.
And then the first
was
night,
wild.
I remember you wearing that dumb captain's hat, and I was telling everyone you were the captain.
Yeah, I know. I had people coming up to me asking if I was a captain. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah." They're like, "Who's driving the boat?" And I was like, "It's
kept
autopilot. We got technology."
I kept walking up to random people, Travis, and going, "Hey, how do you guys feel that the captain's in here drinking?" And they were like, "Nuh-uh." And I was like, "That's the captain of this boat."
That's him.
So they would immediately go to Patrick and go, "Who's running the boat?"
I would just tell him it's on autopilot.
dumb. Like,
Especially
that
when
is
you're
the
drinking.
dumbest
He sells it though. He sells it pretty good.
Oh man, I just like screwing around, man. It's the best.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Trap.
aware.
So let's move back into fishing a little bit.
Yeah.
What are you thinking today? We kind of got on a tube bite a little bit. There was a jig bite.
A tube bite?
Yeah, just shaky head on a coffee tube we were
Cool.
throwing.
Fishing cover like docks and stuff?
We were fishing the sheer kind of cliff wall. So I'm trying to give you kind of an image of what we'll be doing.
Yeah.
So you can talk about one of your favorite techniques that you can kind of showcase
Spot like this. Okay.
out there. Yeah.
You catch them on the bottom. I'm
Yeah.
guessing you're throwing a tube, so you're dragging it.
Dragging a tube, dragging a jig. We're catching
Are you
them.
moving it at all? Like kind of jerking it? Because tube, you can kind of fish fast. Or you
He,
can just fish
he
it
was
like
throwing
a
the
jig.
tube.
I was throwing
Right.
it slow. Nice
Slow.
drag. I'll pop it every now and then, but
Yeah.
they would literally sometimes pick it up on the sink, or they would pick it up on when I'm on the drag. But you'd never feel the bite. They're always
Just loaded
when
up.
you go. Yeah, they load up, or they're always swimming towards you.
Yeah. You said you caught another, like a frogfish, 4-pounder on
There's not a lot of places to catch the frogfish, but there
Yeah.
are a couple.
There's
and
not a lot of grass. There's
Correct.
only a couple places.
Yeah. There's topwater going on. I imagine there's a reaction bite.
Yeah, there's got to be a reaction bite.
I
With this
mean-
cloud cover, I think reaction bite for sure.
Like, so I don't throw deep divers a lot. I feel like that would be really
yeah.
good there.
You have any
um,
10XDs.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That
probably-
might
Now,
be
careful.
That's probably the business.
big
business.
dog territory right there if we get one on a 10XD.
What do you mean? Be careful.
I was gonna say because you're gonna showcase your talent, so you're gonna go with the 10XD.
I don't care. Yeah. What?
You think you have that confidence in that bait?
Yeah, I can throw whatever. I don't care.
don't.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the cover though.
I'd be like,
if
give
I'm
me a
throwing
drop.
10XD,
No, it's just
and
all rock.
it's just muddy
all
bottom.
rock.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be super
No, it's
sweet.
all rock.
It's literally a cliff, Travis, and if we're 20 feet off the bank, we're sitting in 19 foot of water.
Sweet.
Philip, you know how good I am at
baby.
fishing? Travis is better. So you be ready, dude.
Patrick sucks.
We
He doesn't
just
suck.
we
He's
just
good.
got
Learn
off
from the
a
best.
yeah, exactly. We just got off a bluefin tuna trip that was pretty fun.
That sounds so cool.
You got to get on one of those.
I would be so down.
It's so
I'd
fun.
get super seasick, but I'd just be.
Oh, I
just
forgot
fishing all
about
the time.
that.
I don't care.
Don't catch your first tuna with us.
Oh yeah, you got to eat the heart.
I know. I saw that.
It's terrible.
I'd be down. Whatever.
That makes me almost throw up every time.
Oh God.
Just watch
You
it.
can rally, baby. That's all.
Kaylin ate it like no problem.
Psychotic.
And then later that night, she was like, "I wish I ate more." And I was like, "You're insane.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
would
she
look so
married
good."
you, so.
And then Conrad ate there was like a
You're
plastic.
not supposed to eat that white. I don't know what that was.
Conrad ate something you weren't supposed to eat. It was like a tube.
That's
like a
disgusting.
cartilage tube.
And he said he couldn't chew it up.
Why didn't I spit it out?
That's not part of tradition.
Because his big brothers are putting the pressure on him.
Yeah, I actually don't want to bluefin fish with you guys.
It's fun, dude. It's a lot of fun, especially the like working out. that's where I like saltwater fishing because that's a workout. It's like an upper body workout.
For sure.
It's so fun. I caught one on the troll and I just wanted to reel it because I know that's heavy line and it's not going to break. So I just blasted this thing as hard as I could and like my bicep was about to blow out and I finally got it. I got it in 1 minute and 21 seconds. But if it made a run, I was
started
smoked.
the clock?
I was editing the video and I was like, how fast did I catch that fish? Yeah, I was editing the video and I just
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what do you like better, saltwater or freshwater? Because I know you like
different reasons.
saltwater,
Different
right?
reasons. Yeah. I don't get this question a lot, but I know how to answer it. Saltwater is for the fight for me. That's what I love saltwater fishing for. The challenge is physical to physical, man versus beast. I love that aspect of it.
Right.
Freshwater, and we were kind of talking about it today. It's not that, it can be, but usually it's more of like a skill and it's competitive and making a great cast does really matter. The presentation does really matter. With saltwater, there is a little bit of that, but less, right?
It's not as intense as freshwater fishing whatsoever. I mean, you do have to know how to pick a hot bait. You do need to know how to get your bait away from the boat, whether there's current or not.
Yeah.
But freshwater is 100 times more intense in that aspect.
There's a lot more aspects that go into it, and there's a lot more ways to be competitive with it, which I like. And then I'll even give you one better, Trav, fly fishing. I like fly fishing because of the places it takes you.
I agree with that.
I like.
For sure.
I don't even have to catch a fish fly fishing, and I'll be happy.
Right.
It's totally
like
just getting out there.
You're like in the river, wearing waders. Like I know that's a lot of.
And I'm not a good fly fisherman.
My father-in-law is big into fly fishing. Like on trips to Montana for a week and go to these crazy places. I'm like, wow, that seems so cool.
It's so.
And then
fun.
I grab his rod. I'm like, what are you catching on this thing?
That's the worst part.
Like I wouldn't catch. Like you couldn't catch a 3-ounce bass. Like it would just break it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously
like
not. Like they bend and all that stuff, but just like I don't know. I took him in a tournament this year.
Oh, how was that?
So we fished OROVILLE. Because OROVILLE's known for like the float and fly, right?
Yeah.
You guys saw that down here at all? A little bit.
Yeah, he does.
Right.
He likes
I like doing that.
So up there, we fished a Wild West team tournament, which is the only Wild West event I'll fish because Wild West is a joke.
Yeah.
We can get into that later because
we'll get into it right after your story.
Yeah. Okay. So we fished a team event. They took off a couple years ago. They took off the rod restrictions. So before you couldn't really fly fish because fly fishermen use 9-10 foot rods.
Yeah.
But when they started coming out with like the 8.5 foot cranking rods, all these tournaments took away. You used to only have 8 foot or under rods.
Yeah.
So you couldn't fly fish. Well, now there's no rod restrictions. So now you can throw a 10 foot rod. So I'm like, hey, my brother moved to Arizona. So he was my fishing partner. So I'm like, hey, let's fish a tournament. And so yeah, I went up there and practiced, found them on an A-rig. They're on like bluffs and stuff. So I'm like, let's do it. It'll be perfect for a fly.
Yeah.
I was throwing a float and fly too, but I don't like secure my bobber like you do on a float and fly.
Yeah.
But he was throwing a secured bobber. So the bobber wasn't moving. It was just like a bobber, and then 8-9 feet away, he was throwing a fly. I'm like, dude, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
First off, how do you cast that?
Yeah.
And then like, because we're fishing bluffs that are 50 feet like straight down.
So you needed to pendulum down.
Right. So like where his bobber would be 15 feet off the bank. And like by the time it's there, he's in 100 feet of water.
Yeah.
But it was a blast. He was, it was fun. His first bass fishing tournament ever.
Did he catch anything?
He caught 2 fish. He
Nice.
he lost one right at the boat. So
Yeah.
he only caught like in the boat one. I caught like 5 or 6 on the rig. I got like, they were just snapping at the bottom or the back of it, how they do on the A-rig sometimes. But it was interesting for sure. Like he didn't realize like how cold it was going to be in the morning.
Yeah.
I warned him like, hey man, like it's going to be pretty cold. He's like, oh, I fish in Montana. Like we're good. I'm like, all right. Like, when you're doing 75 on the water and it's January in Oroville, like it's going to be a little cold. So I made sure, because we and him get along pretty well. So I made sure he got the full experience, doing as fast as I possibly could, racing as many people as possible.
That's awesome.
His rod flew out of the boat.
I remember you doing that with me when I first started. It was so much fun. So now I heard a little disdain for the Wild West Bass Trail in the beginning of that topic. Is that because of what's going on currently? And I'm not 100% sure on what's going on. This is what I know. They owe anglers money, and those anglers aren't sure, this is my last update, if they're going to get that money. Do you know more, or like what's going on? What's your perspective?
Just earlier was from previous experience. I fished. When Wild West first came out, I didn't fish the first year, but I fished the second year.
Yeah,
and we had like 3 or 4 pro-ams that I fished, And every single one of the programs I fished was the worst ran tournament I've ever fished.
Why?
Like we fished New Maloney's, and New Maloney's they have these mesh bags, right? The mesh bags that go in the solid bag.
Yeah.
And they got split up. So that's not their fault, but they were giving half of the solid bags to people and half the mesh bags to people.
Oh.
And they didn't have it was not a drive-by weigh-in. So you had the boat in the water,
Yeah.
right? You put your fish in a bag, and people
then
were
you
literally
pull it
putting
up.
fish in their mesh bag and walking it all the way up the ramp.
Jeez.
And you get up there, and there's 3 tanks, and there's 200 people fishing because there's a pro-am, it's 100 people, 100
Yeah.
boats, so it's 100 people on the front side, or 100 people on the pro side, 100 people on the am side. And so fish are dying. People are weighing them in. The guy's like talking to every single person for 5 minutes. So it's taking forever to weigh
Yeah.
in. Like I checked in, I was like a middle flight.
Yeah.
Like 2:45 or something like that. And they're like, hey guys, it's going to be a solid like 45 minutes before you like even get a bag.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, okay, cool. Like it's spawning season, right? So like the fish are vulnerable already. Like they're going to die.
Yeah.
Well, they have a chance of dying if you don't take care of them, if you're not quick. And they have no one on the dock check-in. Like, right. So I've fished some tournaments. Me and you fished a tournament back east, where we're driving, like, you weigh in or you check in on the lake and then you drive to a college 20 miles away. Mm-hmm. And they have someone there checking your fish. Okay. You have 5 alive, 5, they measure them, make sure they're alive, because they're not going to penalize you for waiting
dead fish later.
the 2 hours because like, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
Wildwest didn't have that. They were just like, you get to the scales, and if they were dead, it was your fault. And it's like, you gave me a bag that doesn't fit. I had to wait there for 45 minutes. And then on top of that, that was the second tournament. So after you weigh in, you bring your fish down, and you literally put them in a tank.
Yeah.
And they had a net, and they were just netting them out of the tank and throwing them back in the lake. Didn't have a live release, but I swear I'm not making this up. It was a joke. There was fish floating everywhere.
Oh,
how
that
did they not
sucks.
get fined?
That sucks.
For this. That was day 1. So I'm like, day 2, like they apologized, like, hey, I don't know what happened. We had someone helping.
Yeah.
They like split up the bags. So like that sucked.
Yeah.
Now because it makes sense, right? Like you have 50 bags. That way you only have so many people in the tank. So you can kind of monitor how many people have bags. So everything else is staying in the tanks.
Yeah.
In your boat. So that I get them. All right. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. So then the second day, blast off. If you've never fished New Melones before, it's hard to explain. Where you launch is in the front of the cove, mm-hmm. and where their blast off is in the back of the cove. Mm-hmm. So if not everyone has launched yet, then you have people blasting out of the 5 mile an hour zone past the launch ramp where boats are still launching.
Oh my God.
So I luckily launched at Turtletown or something.
Yeah.
I think it's New Melones. There's New Melones and Don Pedro down there.
Yeah.
I don't remember what lake it was. It was the northern one. But so I launched at a different launch ramp, luckily. So like I drove over, I was there in time, but they didn't open the gate early enough.
What?
So like all
What do you
these
mean the
people,
gate?
like to the
main launch ramp?
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
all these people were backed up, and there's no one like taking people's money. So that everyone's having to like pay like the little machine, right? And there's 85 boats like going to that launch ramp. So that's backed up. So I get there, I'm like, man, this is going to be brutal. Cause there's people launching, you can see them all the way up the hill. I'm like, they're not going to make it.
Yeah.
Like it's the sun's rising, and like it's safe light. So they like waited a couple minutes, but they didn't wait long enough. And they just said like, hey, we're going to go. If you're not here on time, it's too bad. So I literally am like, all right, like I'm here.
Yeah.
So they're like, boat 1, not here. Boat 2. Oh, there's boat 2. Like boat 3. Okay, he's here. Like there was like half the boats weren't there.
Oh
so
my
I'm like boat
God.
like 15 or something. So I 15. I get on plane. There's boats coming at me.
Yeah.
Because they're like from the launch ramp coming to try to get there on time. I'm like, this is a joke.
Yeah.
And then like that.
Did it ever get better? Like, did you fish later tournaments?
So then I fished. The next tournament that I fished was the next one I remember is the TOC.
Yeah.
They had a TOC at Clear Lake. I was like 23rd in points going in. So it's like the reason why that matters is because like that's what order you launch in.
Yeah.
They didn't have like the same amount of co-anglers sign up as they did pros. So like you would randomly get drawn and you'd just be by yourself as a pro in a pro-am tournament, which in a pro-am tournament, I was throwing 10 XDs. I had 16 pounds of first take, nothing crazy, but I come all on 10 XDs with a partner with a net.
Yeah.
Well, a 10 XD you can throw. Like those fish get up on top of the water and they move their head a lot, and those baits are heavy and they can throw them.
They're easy to
if
come
you
out of the
don't-
bass's mouth.
If you don't have a net,
Yeah.
or net guy, and they come up next to the boat, you're screwed. Like I'm by myself. So I'm like, I have an 8-foot rod trying to get to the fish, and it's a mess. So that's a whole nother thing. So the second day, I didn't have like a big bag. I had like 3 fish. I lost 2 right at the boat. I was by myself. It was tough. I had rocks thrown at me in the morning from some guy. I was fishing too close to his dock. It was a whole mess. Yeah.
Oh my God. I wish you had that recorded.
Oh yeah. It was scared me. I didn't know what it was happening, right? Like it's
throwing rocks
first thing in the morning. I had my hood on. I'm fishing Jensen, the big bluff, and I'm throwing a 10XD, and those things you can throw a mile.
Yeah.
So I'm throwing it. I'm just reeling, and I'm like, what was that? Like there's a splash like behind my boat.
Yeah.
And I hear this guy up on the hill like yelling at me, like, you guys are up too early, waking me up. Now you're fishing my water. I'm like it's a bluff. So it's like his house is on top.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where's it even coming from? And then the rock like hits like a foot behind my motor.
Oh my
and I'm like,
God.
I'm getting out of here. Like that, it's not worth it that much, right?
That's crazy.
It was wild. But yeah, so anyways, go back to the fun Wild West people. We weigh in, and there's a guy that's in front of me. I won't say his name. He was like going to make top 10.
Yeah.
He's very good at Clear Lake. But again, the weigh-ins were backed up. So we get there, and there's like 40 boats that still haven't weighed in.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, it's June or July. Like the water's super hot. Down in Redbud, the water's terrible quality.
Mm-hmm.
Like these fish are going to die. Can we get someone down on the docks to come check these fish to show that like we brought them in alive?
Yeah.
It's not our fault that you guys are taking so long
And that
to weigh
doesn't.
them in.
I don't know how they run their thing, but it doesn't seem like that takes a lot of manpower to just throw someone down there and check that out. But they don't. Well, we fish smaller tournaments. I don't do that with Anglers Marine tournaments, but there's a little bit smaller tournaments. I think. Yeah.
And Marine moves them.
They move well.
I know if it's like I fish 11 new gen tournaments, and they're like it's a two man crew normally, and they move people. Like
Anglers is good.
There's 2 buckets. There's like it's quick.
Anglers is fun, dude. They feed you. They're fun. They throw hot dogs at you during the tournament. It's one of the best parts.
I fished with him before.
Dude, Rick Grover's fun.
Yeah.
Grover, he's the coolest dude.
The first tournament we fished last year.
I'm gonna do a time check real quick.
Yeah. First tournament we fished last year, Travis. Mm-hmm. We were fishing El Cap, and how are we looking?
We got 15 minutes left.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we're fishing El Cap, dude, and we pre-fished the hell out of it, and we caught a lot of our fish. What were we?
I was catching them on an A-rig.
A-rig
pretty
bite.
good. Yeah.
Going good, dude.
Yeah.
Which isn't normal for. Well, I don't know, but just for me, it's not normal.
And so I had the day off work the day before the tournament, and I was like, I'm gonna go make sure that A-rig bite's there.
Yeah.
Got one bite, and I was like, I'm not touching A-rig anymore. It's still here.
Yeah.
And we're like, we have this one spot. We had what did we launch, 7th in the morning?
Yeah,
7?
something around there. I found a spot that looked perfect. It was just about when they're gonna spawn. So I was like, this could be fish moving up in here later in the day. Yeah. And our A-rig bite was in the afternoon. So I was like, this might be a good morning.
So we get to this spot. I'm throwing a little chatterbait, and I get a 3-pounder. Quit.
Which is big there. It's
a good fish. He's throwing a jig right at like 5-10 minutes. We're not moving the boat. We are owning this spot. We're not going anywhere. He's throwing a jig, gets a 7-1. And I'm like, we're like looking at each other. We're like, dude, we were right. They're moving up here, man. It's going to keep reloading all day. Yeah. Not another bite.
Right after I caught that fish, he goes, there's no way we could screw this up now.
Oh, no.
Not another bite
for the rest of the day.
Not one. And then we're scrambling. A-rig bite is gone.
Yeah, my afternoon A-rig bite went away.
We ended up finishing 7th place.
No, nothing. I think we barely cashed. I think I got a big fish check or something. I think we were barely out of the cut with 2 fish.
Yeah. What did we finish?
I don't know, dude. It was so long ago. I barely remember yesterday.
That's brutal. Yeah, I talked to you after that, and you're like,
yeah, I was pumped up.
Yeah. Tell me like you have this start.
It was nuts.
So do you know anything about what's going on with the wild? Yeah, go ahead. Finish your thing. Yeah.
West. I'll make it quick because I don't want to ramble on. Basically, the guy in front of me, he was on the borderline for making top 10.
Yeah.
And when he weighed in, he had a dead fish, and it cost him a top 10 check.
Yeah.
Because they didn't check his fish.
Oh.
And
he was
that
heated,
to me
I'd
is
imagine.
like that's not his fault. That's like the tournament director or tournament organization. So since then, and like since the whole debacle at New Melones or Don Pedro, whatever it was, I'm like just to let it get that bad.
Yeah.
And not. So I'm just like I'm not fishing the pro-ams. And they had all this stuff come out. They're doing the Apex and all this stuff where it's invite only. And they invited some really good anglers. They invited some anglers that are just not like
they know
not
somebody
the best of the West.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of them are like going back to the elite series.
Political
or
something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like I mean, all the anglers on it are great, but I'm saying there's some guys that I'm like that guy should be
like
he's top 5
fishing with me and Filler.
Yeah, for sure. But so what I've heard is that they did
describe the like situation generally.
Okay.
Just if nobody has ever heard
Is
of
this
it.
right now?
This is
just going on right now?
So my knowledge is up to date like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So I don't know what is happening like right now and if they've actually paid these people or not.
Yeah.
So they've had a couple tournaments back to back where the people that won or top 10 did not get paid.
Which is what kind of money are we talking here?
There was one guy that claimed on Facebook that he was owed 11 grand
Wow. That's a lot.
for one tournament that he had won.
Jeez.
So it's not like and some of these guys, like some of the guys are saying like, hey, I'm not like I don't have a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Like this, like the fact that I did good in this tournament
Help.
is going to pay for the rest of my year to fish.
Yeah.
And like also like help, like this is what I do. Like I fish, there's not a bunch of guys that fish Wild West that like that's the only source of income they have, but there's still guys.
You got a bunch of guys that fish tournaments and make a good living because they're that good.
And it doesn't matter. Like if you pay someone $100 and they're supposed to give you money back if you do this, they're supposed to give you money.
Exactly.
So so there was a bunch of people and like at first it was like a rumor.
Yeah.
That like people weren't getting paid. And then like someone posted on Facebook and then everyone that didn't get paid in that tournament posted like, I haven't gotten paid yet. I haven't gotten paid yet.
Dang.
Like, blew up. And
what was
they were like
the reason?
emailing and texting the guys and they're saying, sorry, like we're getting bought out right now. So like once that goes through, then we can pay you guys.
Yeah.
So why can't you pay us until you get bought out? That doesn't make any sense, right? Like you don't have money. So like now this new guy's, so if you're investing in a company, why would you buy this company that owes people money?
Yeah. You're already in the hole.
Now there's going to be people that aren't like super, like you just see one thing. You're like, I'm not going to fish Wild West. Like they might not pay me.
Yeah.
Why
that's
would you
sketchy.
fish that? Right.
That's
Let's
so
just,
sketchy.
let's go fish a turkey shoot. You just give me $100.
Yeah.
And then we just fish. And then I'm not giving you any money.
So
Like, that's awesome.
Did they
Like-
give any reasoning why they can't? Was it because they're getting bought out? That's the reason they can't pay?
That's the only thing I heard. So I just looked on Facebook. I didn't see anything from them, like official statement from them. So I don't know. I did see something that one of the guys got paid. I don't know what tournament it was, but it was like a solid 2 or 3 tournaments in a row that people didn't get paid. And I don't know if it was everyone in the field or just like top 10, right? Because top 10, it starts going up like 10th place, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, like it starts going up quick.
Yeah.
And supposedly they were taking money from the next event and paying the last event. So like they were saying like your Diamond Valley tournament or whatever you were saying.
Yeah.
So people were giving the entry fees and they were like taking that money to pay these last guys. And like some of the people were asking for their money back in those tournaments and they weren't giving it back because they didn't have any money.
Yeah.
And then like the guy stopped answering emails and phone calls and just like went off the grid.
Yeah. So what happened to me was I had a Wild West scheduled at Diamond Valley, I believe. And it just went away the week I was supposed to fish it, remember? And I was like, oh man. Like I just called them or sent them an email. I was like, hey, is this tournament still going on? They're like, no, we were scheduled. And I was like, oh, can I get a refund? Because I don't know if I'll be able to make it.
When is it rescheduled for?
They didn't know. Yeah.
They didn't know.
So I was like, all right, can I get a refund?
My money back.
And they paid me back. Thank God.
That's awesome.
Thank God we never won too.
Yeah.
Right.
What a loss
see,
that could
I
have.
don't think, and I don't know how much of it is rumors and like how many people got paid and how many tournaments they actually owed money on.
I'm going to dive into this because I didn't know
There is-
anything
Dude,
about this.
it was pretty. There were some pretty big names in the bass industry that were pretty mad.
So
I'd imagine.
Rightfully so. I'd be pretty mad too if I like won a tournament like one of those because they have big drawings. Their pro-ams or they draw some numbers.
So you're never going to fish this tournament again.
No, I always fished. I liked their team events.
That's what we did.
Yeah. That was
So
fun.
when you guys came up to Shasta,
Yeah.
But you're not going to fish those either.
I don't know. It depends who
you're-
runs it.
You're probably going to be banned after this airs.
I don't care. Yeah, bring it on. I'll fish New Gen all day. New Gen.
They weren't going to pay you anyway.
So their team events are awesome. Their team events
Yeah.
are ran by someone else.
Oh, I see.
Not that the tournament director for the pro-am. Actually, that was a joke too.
I loved it. I had a good time.
Yeah.
It was a long line though. Remember when we weighed in? Yeah.
The team event was
Team
fun.
event was fine. So Bill Cook ran it, and also Jason Boublier. I don't remember
Boublier.
his name. I can't pronounce his last name.
Matt
But they both
Boublier.
ran the team tournaments, and they were great.
Yeah.
They're great. Like they run a great tournament. They both
Nice.
like ran other tournaments before.
With that name, you have to.
What was the tournament director's name for your Alabama Lake Wheeler?
I forget. I have no idea. They send me the phone number.
You don't remember what I saved him in the phone as?
No, I remember.
something.
Remember Strainer got all messed up with that.
Strainer called. He called somebody.
Yeah, we know what it is.
Yeah, that's all good. All right, well, let's get this wrapped up. I know we're kind of clocking out. Travis is going to go get a feel for this Canyon Lake ski arm, and then he's going to teach everybody something. Well, go ahead. What?
Let me ask you something real quick.
What?
Does the podcast air prior to after the cast?
It's already on YouTube right now. No, yeah, after.
So it's going to go podcast.
I got to
and
film.
after the cast.
I got to film. Yeah. Oh, how am I going to release it? Is that what you're asking? Yeah, we're going to do the podcast first. And then once you get to know and love Travis after the podcast, he's going to teach you how to not fish the Wild West Bass Trail.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. He's going to teach us one of his coolest tricks. Hopefully, if we can get a 10XD bite, man, I need to learn that. So that would be cool.
I'm sure this is
No, it's good.
Oh,
It's
this is good. You just,
You're a passionate bass fisherman. There's people who are upset about this, and I don't have the.
And I don't even
know.
have money. Like I can't imagine if I was out money. Or like,
Oh my God! I wish they owed you like 10 grand to be like the best
Yeah,
podcast.
I'd be hot. Yeah, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Trav. This is our first podcast. We couldn't have done it with anyone better than the guy who introduced me to the sport. Let's go out in the water and catch some fish.
listen to some Morgan Wallen.
Yeah.
Really.